Okay, folks, welcome back to another video. I just finished playing Stellar Blade. Well, just finished a couple days ago. And I want to give my thoughts and review on it. I mean, right off the bat, it's a stellar game. Pun intended. I'll do a small breakdown, do a short cliff notes. The gameplay, great. It's amazing. It's fun. Story needs improvement, but generally okay. And looks great. I mean, it looks great in a variety of ways. The graphics are great. The boss fight designs are really awesome. Character designs. We'll get into smaller aspects of stuff later. I definitely want to start off with one thing that isn't part of the main three that I usually go through. Voice acting. Now, I've seen a lot of people talk about it, the voice acting in Korean, the native language of the game, and the English dub, which is the version that I played. I don't think the English dub is as bad as people say it is, but it definitely isn't the greatest experience. I personally don't usually play my games in I play with subtitles, but I don't play them specifically if they're like a specific foreign country. I don't usually play in their native language. I usually play them in English. Unlike how I can watch an anime in Japanese completely fine. But I think it's just because there's two different. Those are two different things to me. Anime and video games being, in that fashion. I don't think the dub is terrible. It's not bad. It definitely isn't great. It has its moments where it's like, yeah, that works out, and then it has a lot of moments where it's like, oof. But it's overall it's not bad. It's not bad. It's been blown out of proportion, I think, a little bit, but it's passable for technically being Shift Up's first game, right? We got to remember this is Shift Up, which are the creators of Nikke. That mobile shooter game with the characters. And this is their first standalone game, and it's great. And there's a lot of stuff about it too that I want to go into. But the voice acting in its own right, it's all right. It's okay. You really especially with the story, it's not a big deal. It can improve, and there's even room for a sequel. But voice acting, I definitely would probably give it like a 5 out of 10. It's passable, it's just okay. It's nothing particular stellar, unfortunately, but it works. Now, into the story. If you're looking for a very in-depth story about humanity and robots and what it means to be human, go play Nier Automata. That's the best I'll say. If you're looking for that, it's technically here. It's not that obvious, or that's actually more obvious, but it's also not as, how would I say it? It's not as focused on as it is just focusing on what happened to the humans, because you play Nier Automata, you figure out what happens in humans, but it's a very small cliff note in the actual subject of the story, where here finding out what happened to the humans is pretty much the goal of the story, and outside of fighting what they call the Nativas, which are the main bad guys of the game. But once you kind of get the ball rolling on especially towards the middle and end of the story, there's not much room for like thinking about it, really. You kind of get your answers for the most part. There's a couple, I think, areas that you don't get answers in, specifically if you don't read any of the logs, whether it be memory sticks or documents you find throughout the game. There's a lot of stuff that honestly I perused a little bit of like a subreddit and forums to really get an idea of like people's understanding of the story and everything, because I understood it. I didn't quite get like a full I wasn't full understanding of it though. I was still like, there's a couple things I don't quite understand just myself. I went on some subreddits and some forums, and I saw that there's a lot more people know than I do with the story, and it was a lot that was kind of like, to me, it seemed like it was hinted at in a mysterious fashion, but apparently, if you just read a couple of the documents or logs, it was pretty obvious. And I got, I would say, about 80% of them. They get so repetitive, and when you read a lot of them, they all kind of seem the same thing over and over, so I just kind of stopped reading them altogether. And that was my mistake, because towards the end of the game, they actually do vary. In fact, that some of them reveal a lot of details about the world and what happened to certain things like humans. And I just neglected to read them because there's definitely a bunch of intermittent splash there where it just says, I wish I wasn't dead, Mesosphere saved me, and blah, blah, blah. So it was a little hard to figure out that if I just kind of paid a little more attention, because I did. In the beginning, I did read a lot of them, and then I realized what I was getting myself into. I was like, you know what, I'm going to hold off. That was my bad, because there's some moments at the end where I was just like, you're popping up, and you're popping up, and I don't know why you hate me, and why you are something like that, but I'm supposed to know, and my character knows, and I don't quite really know that much. And it's just because I didn't read those. And to be fair, I had brief moments of like, I took a big break between when it came out. I played it for a couple, I think, weeks after it came out, and then I took a really big break, did another game, beat that game, and then came back to this one and beat it. So I had a lot. So it was, I think, around, I want to say June is when I stopped playing this, and then November is when I kicked it back up. But I did beat it. I beat it a couple days ago, so it still took a while. But at the same time, I wanted to wait for my next subject. Story is, I would say, is about also a 5 out of 10. It's not great, it's not bad, it's just kind of there, and it's okay, and it has a lot of room for future with some teases depending on the endings you get, because there's 3 different endings. But I think there's basically one ending that's like, okay, this is obviously a tease for the next game. We have room to go forward from here. I haven't got the other endings. I've only done the main, like, secret one, sort of, if you will call it that. But I want to jump into content, because this is, I think, the aspect of Stellar Blade that really, really had me going, okay, this isn't just a game. This is a game that the developers cared about and they want to continue. You can tell. There was, I think, 3 major content updates, including a DLC. There was the first one, I think, that came with just a couple outfits and boss challenge, which is cool because you can get outfits from that too. And it's another way to replay bosses without having to go through the whole game, which is cool. Then there was the summer update, which added a bunch of new outfits for a minigame, I believe. I believe fishing was part of it at launch. I'm not entirely sure. But fishing was added to me, I think. And then a bunch of outfits were added around fishing, which was cool. New music as well. That was a cool update. I did that as well. And then there was the winter update, which I think only came out. Actually, no, sorry. There was this the Stellar Blade X Nier Automata DLC, which added a bunch of outfits, and came with an update that added a bunch of free outfits as well for everybody who played. So I think 3 outfits were added for free, and then it was about 5 outfits for DLC. I later on purchased the DLC, so I actually have the DLC as well. And then the last update was the winter update, which added a couple outfits for free, and that was it. It was just like a little mini game. You run around in Zion and find them. So there was quite a bit of stuff added. It was all basically mostly outfits, couple gameplay things, which are cool. I don't think I would have ever done fishing if I knew that there was no, because originally I believe the fishing came out and it didn't have outfits. It was just for collecting fish and getting a trophy. Then they added outfits tied behind it, and that, I think, really incentivized me to actually do the fishing, because I didn't care about fishing until I found out, a couple of outfits get fishing. Also, you get a lot of outfits in this game, and I thought, okay, you get a lot of outfits done. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 or 3 for like New Game Plus or whatever. No. Every single outfit you can collect from the beginning of your first playthrough to the end of the first playthrough, which is basically all of them, has a second variant for New Game Plus, which means you have to collect all of those outfits all over again if you want to get them all. Thankfully, It's not an achievement to do so, but a lot of the outfits are kind of fun to get. So I got all the base outfits from beginning to end, and I did a lot of them like just playing the game. A lot of them you find over naturally, and a lot of them you do for just doing some of the character side quests, which were all right. There were some that were a lot more important than others, like Enya's. Not Enya's. I think I remember. Yeah, I don't remember them all the names. It's hard because I just finished and I've been putting it in my mind, on my back burner, trying to think about how my feelings of this game. But there's a lot of characters that have a lot more character development within the side quest compared to other characters who like have little to nothing. No, it was Enya. It was Kaya. I was thinking Kaya is a different subject, but her quests are a lot more shorter than Enya's. Enya's take a while to do. There's a lot of cool, characters that appear here and there. They're all like kind of kind of a stereotype when you see them. A little bit. I might be wrong about that. I'm probably misjudging that factor. But there's a lot of content for this game. I think that was a big shining factor of Stellar Blade was this wasn't just a big, $70 release PlayStation 5 exclusive. It was big release PlayStation 5 exclusive that actually, got updates, fixing bugs, added a DLC, had a bunch of content base, added free stuff for everybody to do. They added a photo mode. I forgot about that. That was part of the. I think there was an update before Neo Autonomous added photo mode. That was it. But they added a bunch of stuff, for people to actually play around with, and it was really cool. And I thought that was definitely the crowning, like, okay, they definitely care. They didn't just make this game because they wanted to make another, shift up kind of game. They really did care about what they were making. It makes me really excited for. I'm hoping eventually a sequel, because I did enjoy this game, and I hope that they actually get one, because there's potential here. There's potential, especially with the gameplay. The gameplay is really fun. And speaking of gameplay, good segue. The gameplay. Oof. This is the one part that you don't see much of, and unfortunately, you're not going to see it in this video either. But it's something that people always, say. I think it's also a factor that everybody forgets because of the actual, the whole what is Stellar Blade. When you go on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and you look up Stellar Blade, you're not really gonna find people talking about the gameplay. You're gonna find people talking about the character, Eve, and I think that's a big downside because the gameplay is really fun. It's a Souls-like in the sense that the combat is very similar. It's not a Souls-like in the difficulty for a majority of the game. I think there's only like a couple boss fights where you might consider it sort of Souls-like. But it's basically an action game. And it's not easy. It's not hard either. You have moments where the gameplay is pretty much easy. You have moments where the gameplay can be a bit of a challenge, but most of the time you're not going to be struggling too much, I think. The boss fights are definitely the highlight when it comes to the game because you have a lot of satisfying moments, counters. I think the way you progress throughout the game is a little funky. Definitely in the beginning you feel dramatically underpowered. By the end you feel like you probably should have been here for a hot minute with your power level, but you don't. It was only to like the middle where or not even to the middle, like towards the here I go again with the beginning, middle, beginning, end. Towards the beginning end is when you start feeling the connection with the gameplay. I would say the beginning, there's no tease, it's just a tutorial. Then like the beginning, middle, you kind of get an idea of what you can do with the gameplay, especially when you get to your first boss. But it isn't quite clicking, you feel kind of underdeveloped. And then by the ending of the beginning, you kind of get the idea of what's going on, right? You get that it's a counter-based system, it's a dodge-based system, and it's almost a combo-based. What is a combo? They call them combos, literally. It's a combo fighting system, and I didn't think that would kind of work for this specific kind of game. I would have thought it was just gonna be like a Souls kind of thing where you literally just kind of dodge, weave, parry, blah blah. But no, it's a bit it's a bit more combo-y than I thought, and the combos are interesting because a lot of the combos are do this and then hold this button and then do this button combo and you get a cool combo. You can also push two different buttons. It's kind of like that, what do you call those? A Muso style game where you hit X, and you hit triangle, and then you hit triangle again. You do a different combo. You do hit X, X, X. You get a combo at the triangle, 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 and then like triangle, X, triangle. You can all different types of button combos give you all different types of combos, literally. So it's similar in that fashion, and then they have like power moves, what they call beta skills, where you can use beta energy to do a neat skill, and depending on how you level them up, you can do different things with those skills as well, make them stronger, have new combos with them as well. Really cool thing, and you don't really feel like you're, especially because if you play a lot of the side quest stuff, you're gonna level up your skills a lot. I almost got all of the skills you can possibly get in my first playthrough. I think I only missed like 5 or 6, which is annoying. But if you play a lot of it, you do get a lot of them done, and you don't feel like you're not getting a lot of upgrades throughout the time. Actually, a lot of the time you're getting consistent upgrades. You get double jumps. You get a whole new fighting mode. You get another whole new fighting mode later on. Like you consistently are getting new and stronger abilities, and I think that's great. I think they did that really well. So the combat, I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna give the gameplay, combat gameplay, same sort of thing. I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10. The only reason I don't give it a 9 or a 10, personally, is because the platforming is garbage. I don't think they bring that up, but the platforming in this game is terrible. Eve is too floaty, especially when you start jumping out of you move at no speed, then jump like at full speed. It's like, ugh, it's so bad. I had towards the last main section before you go to just boss fight after boss fight after boss fight, some of the platforming sections made me so frustrated. I honestly was like, I'm not gonna beat this game anymore. Like, it was just really, really bad platforming. But yeah, 8 out of 10. I hate the platforming. And then the last thing, obviously, graphics. And I don't want to focus on this one too much because it's kind of just, the obvious. The game looks great, especially with PS5, because the base PS5, certain games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth looked a little blurry at launch and still kind of do. This game looks really clear, especially with the performance balance setting, which is between the performance and graphics, it's in the middle. It looked really good. It was a really good blend of the good resolution and clarity and good 60 FPS. I was actually shocked that the game looked as good as it did, because I was expecting sort of some Final Fantasy Rebirth, where it's very blurry a little. But to be fair, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a very big open world game, where this game has open areas, big ones too, but they're not the highlight of the game or the focus. It's really the linear sections and the boss fights are the focus. So these areas don't have a huge performance dip either. So it makes sense why the game can look as clear and good as it does. And there's not too much huge sacrifices with it. The art style is great. I like the art style. Characters look unique. The outfits look unique. The effects look good. I completely forgot that I just negated a whole mode of combat. Sorry, that makes no sense now. I just realized it. But the graphics just look great. This is really a well-developed graphic game, especially with PS5 hardware. And I've heard there's a rumored PC port coming, and if that's true, this game is going to look even better. So expect it to look great. But that being said, Stellar Blade. I think I brought this up too. I always do a game of the year sort of thing. What's my game of the year? I do 2 categories. One category is exclusively games that came out that year, which out of those games is my game of the year. And then I have a game of the year, which is games that I have played in this year, whether it be, something that came out 2 years ago, something that came out 20 years ago. It's just a game that I played that I put them higher. So I have to say this, and it's gonna seem a little crazy because yes, I have played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I freaking loved it. It was amazing. I had a lot of gripes with it though. This is my game of the year for 2024. Yeah, I really enjoyed playing this game. This game was so much fun to play. Story-wise, you know, whatever. Graphic-wise, great. But the gameplay of the game was so satisfying to play. So props to the Shift Up. Thought I'd never say this, but yes, this is my game of the year 2024. And then my game that I played of the year of 2024 would have been Final Fantasy VII 16, which I already made a video on, and you can see it. I'll probably put a link in the description, hopefully. I hope I did. I totally forgot to mention music. Music was a 10 out of 10. Loved it. Got some of the Game Awards. There you go. But yeah. With that being said, that's my review on Stellar Blade. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy what's coming up. If you're watching, you know, live, like in this moment, or you know, a couple of days later, I'll be doing Persona 3 Reload. That's our next coming game. We're finishing on streams. I'm already halfway into it because I had played it when it first came out. But I can't wait to finish that, and then after that, it's just whatever I'm playing at the time. I still got a couple of games in my backlog that I started that I need to finish up. So those will probably be also games I play on stream. I am playing through Baldur's Gate 3, and I don't think I'll be getting that review anytime soon. It literally just started. But I can't wait to like, you know, eventually get that out. But yeah, there's some bits coming out in the future. I have another video coming somewhat soon. I'm hoping end of this week. I know I told my Discord that it was gonna be, you know, Wednesday, but I haven't pushed back on some things, so that's why this video is coming out Monday as well. But hopefully I get that out by end of this week. It's a continuation of a video I never thought I'd have to continue, but here I am having to continue it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I give Stellar Blade a stellar 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Peace out.